Quotes to help you face your fears. Compiled by Zaviad.com team. Here are some quotes to help you face your fears. Too many people are thinking of security instead of opportunity. They seem to be more afraid of life than death. James F. Byrnes. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. Rudyard Kipling. Curiosity will conquer fear even more than bravery will. James Stevens. Ignorance is the parent of fear. Herman Melville. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Unknown. I am not afraid of tomorrow, for I have seen yesterday and I love today. William Allen White. Who sees all beings in his own self, and his own self in all beings, loses all fear. Isa Upanishad, Hindu scripture. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Seneca. Do the thing you fear and the death of fear is certain. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Where no hope is left no fear. Milton. Laughter is poison to fear. George R.R. Martin. Fear is only as deep as the mind allows. Japanese proverb. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Helen Keller. Cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once. William Shakespeare. Develop success from failures. Discouragement and failure are two of the surest stepping stones to success. Dale Carnegie. Cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once. William Shakespeare. Do not be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. John Rockefeller. Do not fear mistakes. You will know failure. Continue to reach out. Benjamin Franklin. Do one thing every day that scares you. Eleanor Roosevelt. Each of us must confront our own fears, must come face to face with them. How we handle our fears will determine where we go with the rest of our lives. To experience adventure or to be limited by the fear of it. Judy Blume. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Jack Canfield. Failure doesn't mean you are a failure, it just means you haven't succeeded yet. Robert H. Schuller. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. Gandhi. Fear is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. Yoda. Fears are nothing more than a state of mind. Napoleon Hill. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Susan Jeffers. Have no fear of perfection. You'll never reach it. Salvador Dali. I failed my way to success. Thomas Edison. I have learned over the years that when one's mind is made up, this diminishes fear, knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Dale Carnegie. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. Theodore Roosevelt. Men are not afraid of things, but of how they view them. Epictetus. Most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Napoleon Hill. My great concern is not whether you have failed, but whether you are content with your failure. Abraham Lincoln. Never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Babe Ruth. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Marie Curie. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Henry Ford. Our greatest fear should not be of failure but of succeeding at things in life that don't really matter. Francis Chan. Remember your dreams and fight for them. You must know what you want from life. There is just one thing that makes your dream become impossible, the fear of failure. Paulo Coelho. Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. Winston Churchill. The greatest mistake you can make in life is to continually be afraid you will make one. Elbert Hubbard. There are two basic motivating forces, fear and love. When we are afraid, we pull back from life. When we are in love, we open to all that life has to offer with passion, excitement, and acceptance. Evolution and all hopes for a better world rest in the fearlessness and open-hearted vision of people who embrace life. John Lennon. Thinking will not overcome fear but action will. W. Clement Stone. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Henry Ford. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt. When I hear music, I fear no danger. I am invulnerable. I see no foe. I am related to the earliest times, and to the latest. Henry David Thoreau. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Steve Jobs. There are times when fear is good. It must keep its watchful place at the heart's controls. Aeschylus. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Nelson Mandela. There are very few monsters who warrant the fear we have of them. André Gide. The way you overcome shyness is to become so wrapped up in something that you forget to be afraid. Lady Bird Johnson. For more quotes like this, kindly visit Zaviad.com. Thank you.